Hello trade pros and welcome to this weekend's video. My name is Mark and I am one of the Forex and futures traders here at TRADEPRO Academy. And in this weekend's video, I'm going to show you guys how to do multi-time frame analysis and build a thesis from the larger time frames, i.e. your monthlies, your weeklies, and identify that trend within the lower time frames, your dailies and your 4 hours, so that you can start to build a picture of what might be happening over the long term and then look to capture that opportunity on the shorter term time frames. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, you've got your US dollar index here. This is your DXY basket, and we are on the monthly time frame. So first thing you want to do is identify your key swing points. And for us, our key swing points come in at 97.70 right here. That is your 2018 high, and we like that level because you can see throughout 2019, we've had multiple tests of that level. We have traded above it, but ultimately we had 2 months where we've failed to close back above. And that previous month in June, we've seen a nice rotation off of those highs and coming down into the lower end of that 2019 range. So this right away is suggesting, the sellers are in control at the time being, and that we'll likely see a rotation back down into the lows of structure. So that's what we've got on the monthly time frame. These lows come in at 95.03. So let's just make that adjustment. So that's the current range we're sitting in at the moment. And as mentioned, we're seeing a rotation off of these 2018 highs. The buyers were unable to press this market higher for 1, 2, 3 months. And this third month, we had that rotation lower. And again, now we're looking for that move back down into these 95s. In order for the bulls to potentially defend and press this thing back up to the top of the range. So that's what we've got at the moment. And let's take a look now at the weekly time frame, where we'll dive a little bit further and see if we can identify some nice levels for us to potentially trade into. So that's the monthly time frame. We have a bearish bias for the coming month or so. Let's take a look at the weekly, see if the weekly is giving us similar sentiment. So now we're down into the weekly time frame, and we just want to see that the weekly is kind of aligning with what the monthly has been showing us. So on the monthly, we had a nice reversal candle for June, and now coming down into the weekly time frame, we kind of want to see structure starting to suggest a shift back down to the downside. And we are starting to see that. I can see here we've had break to fresh highs. We've had this level hold as resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke it over here and couldn't quite continue higher. There was a rotation back down to test that level as support. We had another press up higher, but that press up higher ultimately failed around these 98 halves, and we saw a press back down. Now, this press back down wasn't necessarily bearish just yet. We needed to see after that press, we needed to see the next rotation get back above these highs. That's not what happened. We saw it come back into these 2018 highs, hold it as resistance, and press lower. So this is now confirming to us that our overall monthly bias is showing up on the weekly time frame in the form of price action and in the form of potential shift down to the downside with that swing lower and that break of the market structure, giving us that signal or that confirmation that the sellers are in control, and that's what we might be seeing. That might be the status quo for the next couple of months. Now, let's drop down to the daily time frame and take a look at what the structure is showing us there as well. So let's drop into there now. Okay, and now on the daily time frame, we can kind of draw these zones in a little bit more detail here. So we can see we had a little bit of a wick down there. So let's refine these levels a little bit. There we go. So there are the levels, and what you'll see is just kind of confirming what we saw in the weekly time frame. We have a double top here. We had that break of market structure on the daily time frame, giving us a fresh lower low. Rotation back up into that structure gave us a lower high, and then we had the press back down below those previous lows, giving us another fresh lower low. So at this point, we are expecting a lower high to form. Whether that forms here in those 96 halves or a little bit higher in those 97s, it does not matter. We still have that bearish bias. So we know that we'll be looking to sell rotations higher for a press back down into those 95.03s. So again, daily time frame, the market structure is confirming the bearish bias. And now when we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, let's see if we can look for some potential levels where we'd be interested in selling. Here we are on the 4-hour time frame. And again, as mentioned, have that low in the 96 halves right here. We've got some structure as well right in this zone. And this is ultimately what we're looking for. You know, we had a move up that's starting to show some failures to press up higher. And now we're ultimately looking for the dollar to trade back into these swing lows and break back below those lows and trade into those 2019 lows in those 95.3s. So at this moment, you're seeing this level is holding. You could look for potential shorts and on any rotations back up into there for a move down into that lower end of the range. If we come into this level, start to hold and break down, you can look to add to those positions if you caught them in the pullback for that press down into the 95.03s. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's just a quick little breakdown of how to utilize multi-time frame analysis to identify the direction of the trend on the overall larger term time frames, and then scroll down into your lower time frames, your weeklies, your dailies, 4-hour time frames, identify key levels of interest, and plan your trades based on that for the week to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did find value, make sure to like, make sure to comment, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to check off that notification bell so that you get notified anytime we do upload any content. Again, hope you guys enjoyed that. Signing out here from Toronto, Ontario. Good luck and good trading, guys. Take care.